Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on a Monday morning. A nice day here in Ontario. Get some golf in today. And more importantly, there was golf on the weekend, one of the majors, which is always fantastic. And Brooks Koepka trying to win back-to-back-to-back. Three-peat, which would have never happened. And he was oh so close, but our prediction, well, my prediction was he was going to come back and win it. He could have easily, just didn't have his game on the back nine. But the winner, Woodland, is a great winner. You're going to talk a little bit about him in a second, but you know, we always look at what does it matter to the game of golf, and unfortunately, Gary Woodland, personally it matters, but to the game of golf, he's 35 years old, I think, somewhere in there. Him winning a major is not exciting compared to Brooks. It would have been 5 majors in the last nine majors that he's played, and that would have looked like something that could approach Tiger and Jack. So good for Woodland. You're going to talk about why he's such a loved guy on tour, which is nice to see as well. He held up under pressure the first time in 8 54-hole leads that he's actually won. So he's struggled through that and was able to pull it together. And, of course, our disappointment in Rose, too, really didn't play well.
Before we get on to who we wanted to win, why we think it's good for golf, I'll do the guy credit, which is give him a quick shout-out. You know, you saw, if you watched the golf yesterday, you would have seen all the players who actually hung around for him.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of golf people on media, as far as Twitter, Instagram, and I'm always on golf sites and sports sites, and the love and support for Gary Woodland was something that I don't think I would know, and most fans wouldn't know, because he's one of those guys, again, who doesn't show that much emotion, although it was great to see a couple big fist pumps, and the putt on 18 was really cool for him to make. But more in depth is, like, you know, people were saying what a great guy he truly is, and you know, he does apparently a lot for the military. He did this great thing. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I don't know if you'll cry or smile, but he had this handicapped girl with him who played the 16th hole of the Waste Management. She even made a 10-foot putt, and if you hear him mic'd up, you can see where they come from as far as a great guy. He was so nice and very congratulative of her. And actually, she tweeted at him before the round yesterday saying that he's got this and went on to win. It was pretty cool. He also, sadly, his wife had a miscarriage. I believe it was a couple years ago now. She's apparently pregnant with twins. It's kind of
all coming together.
It's kind of this cool story. How it's obviously very, very sad. You lose a child, but now you get twins. It's almost kind of like it's being brought back, and it's a cool story there. And hopefully, these babies arrive happy and healthy, and everything goes okay for him and his wife. So I first want to say that because we are going to talk about why we didn't really want him to win. But I wanted to say it's not because of his person. He's a great guy from what I understand, and lots of great stories on him. Go Google and find out more about him. He's a great champion, and it was great to see a lot of guys hang back. That always shows you how great of a guy it is when you're playing competitors, especially those guys way younger. You know, Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler.
And who were finished, a lot of these guys were finished playing like an hour and even 2
So that should tell you how good of a guy he is, and I wanted just to say that before we get into why now specifically on golf. It really doesn't help us at all as a sport, unfortunately. You really wanted Brooks Koepka or Rory McIlroy to win that. For us, it was specifically Brooks. Obviously, he's been the most dominant golfer since he's really come over. Not since he come over in Europe, because actually his rookie year wasn't great, but since he got started really in the majors here, and he almost had it again.
He should have had it. I mean, it was interesting to see him go so bad on the back nine. He's never been that way. He's always closed out these major events, and I really thought he was going to win. Woodland had faltered a little bit. Like, he was one over on the day at one point. They got within one shot. That's a Brooks setup to win a major. That's what he does. He comes back. He was 4 under in the first 5 holes or 6 holes, and it just looked like he was going to do what he's done at every other event, but he started to hit wayward shots on the back nine for some reason. I don't know what it was.
I'd say it got really cold. Yeah, it
wasn't a nice time.
Everyone kind of started to struggle, and he looked like one of those guys. He joked before how he's from Florida, doesn't even drink hot beverages. Yeah. So I don't know if the cold really... it definitely looked like it might have hurt him. He kind of came up short a lot. He started fading it to the right. As someone who's played in cold weather, that usually means your swings get short. You're not loose. And he started to lose a lot of golf balls to the right. He didn't really hit crisp iron shots. Even on 16, he went right at the flag. He had 1 club short. In my mind, that could have easily been the cold. The biggest one for me, and no one's really talking about, is the par 5. He was 120 out.
Yeah.
I ended up making a grid up and down to say par, but 120 out, and Brooks normally, in those moments, would stuff it. He pulls it left, doesn't even hit the green. I think that was something that shocked me the most. I'd give him the rest of the holes, But we all know par fives are where these guys shoot up, and Brooks
Yeah.
certainly one of them, being one of the longer hitters. That just really, really surprised me. He hit in the rough off the tee, but laid up to a good number. Couldn't even give himself a birdie putt at it. 18, he actually probably hit 2 perfect shots. But here's what I'm going to say, and I'm disappointed that no commentator brought up, why did he not hit driver?
Yeah.
I know they're going to say it's tighter the farther you go. But the fact is, with a good drive, he has a 6-iron in because he hit 3-iron there. He went 3 with 3-iron and over the green.
Yeah.
So driver could have gone driver 5 or driver 6.
He's a great driver of the ball.
He's a great driver of the golf ball. A little fade. He could have landed on the screen and had an eagle putt, if not a 2-putt birdie, to put more pressure on Woodland. I'd love to. I didn't see his interview. I'd love to hear him if he ever got asked that question. Obviously, I don't think it would get asked because he hit a good 3-wood and hit a good iron and ultimately didn't get up and down. I would ask the question, though, man, you could have had a 6-iron into that flag that's very accessible, gave yourself an eagle putt and guaranteed birdie. Instead, you hit a great shot, but it's tough to hold the green with a 3-iron. Goes over the green, couldn't get up and down, and ultimately gave Woodland the easy win. Obviously, not it was easy at that point because he only had a hole left to go. But that would be my one question to Brooks, man, is that, you know, you're a great driver of the golf ball. I understand he didn't drive it really well near the last couple holes. But if you wanted to get an eagle, I don't think you'd go driver 3-iron, but driver 6-iron. You could have easily held that green and really had a legit chance there to tie that lead.
There was another interesting fact, and you think of a guy like Brooks is almost bulletproof in these majors, and yet he's one of the worst bunker players and was one of the worst on the week, actually. Lost the tournament. I mean, most of these guys are in the 50% range, 60% range out of the bunkers, up and downs, and it was shocking to me to find out that's a real weakness in his game. You almost think he doesn't have one.
Yeah, and I think it comes from, you know, kind of his style is maybe not the best for bunkers. Obviously, it's great for everything else. I wouldn't change it. But, you know, everyone's got to have their weakness. I remember Jack Nicklaus watching Memorial. It was something about chipping, and Jack goes, I'd never get that up and down. And they're like, you're one of the best. He goes, if you look at my chipping stats, I was horrible. That's why I hit so many greens.
Yeah.
Well, Brooks is probably similar. He's a great chipper out of the rough. He displayed yesterday, but certainly bunkers is not his strength. And yesterday he was 0 for 2 or 0 for 3, or 1 for 3, sorry. But it was really because he made a great putt.
Yeah.
Ultimately, probably cost him the tournament. 1 for 5, 1 for 6 on the whole week. He does have great ranks during the regular season, but, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes you get beat. Unfortunately, Woodland beat him. I think Brooks, the way he plays, was hoping he plays. I mean, he went 2 under, 2 under, 3 under, 3 under. It's kind of shocking, I'm sure, to him that Gary Woodland didn't back up to 10 under. You get to double digits in a major that are supposed to be very, very tough. You should win. And I think Brooks is going to say that at the end of the day is that this is how I play, and normally it wins for me, and these guys didn't back up, and he really couldn't go extra low. And ultimately, great win by Woodland, but for golf, a little disappointment only because of chasing out records. You rather see Brooks win. Obviously, I'm not taking away from Woodland or the great guy.
But Gary Woodland is not going to inspire kids to play the game. He's an older player. He's had a relatively mediocre career. 4 wins before yesterday. 5 wins, whatever it is. This is not the kind of guy we need winning the U.S. Open to propel sports, make it more notable to kids. That, you know, like Tiger did. I mean, Tiger, you know, he really sent the sport to new heights. And right now, all our guys are stalling. Rory hasn't won in so long with 4 majors already in there.
I wouldn't say Brooks is stalling.
Horrible. Brooks has won 4 out of 9 now. Could have been 5.
And 2 seconds.
And 2 seconds now. Now, we need these guys winning. That's what sets up the game of golf. So that's why you always hear us talking about the game of golf and why certain guys are important to win and certain guys doesn't matter. So congratulations to Woodland. He played fantastic yesterday. He held on under extreme pressure. And he was playing with the number 2 player in the world, Rose. And Rose folded up like a cheap suit.
Yeah, he had DJ around him, Rory around him, Rose around him. So, you know, he really pulled through in the clutch. And like I said, we're not taking away from anyone. Obviously, a great guy. Obviously, a great emotional win.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the future of golf. Imagine if Brooks got to 5 and the dominance he's been putting on golf lately. I'd like to see him continue. I'd say this, too. Brooks is showing a little bit more emotion.
Yeah.
I think the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship that was so difficult for him to win.
Yeah.
And he had that big fist pump on 18. Sort of same here in this U.S. Open. It wasn't as blasé this week. He showed a lot of fist pumps. He's certainly, I think, starting to get crowds on his side. And hopefully he can get the British Open and keep going.
The other thing was, before the tournament, he chastised the media about not including him in a promo reel and not interviewing him at times. So maybe, someone's gotten to him and say, you got to be the guy who steps up to be more personable to the fans, and then you will get included in this stuff. I was interested to see him get passionate about that, because in the past he just hasn't cared. He cared about himself. He cared about his game. He just didn't have it. But now he's getting on, hey, I want to be part of the media. I want to be in there. And I think we saw that this week. I think it's great that he's starting to do that.
Well, I also think that greatness, he's realizing he can have it. Like, he can be one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. I think he's noticing that, with the PGA, he was, despite winning, people were chanting DJ all over that golf course. And I think he's realizing. Now, I must admit, he looks like he's been great to fans. He shakes everyone, not shake, but he does this every hole with the high fives. Yeah. And, I think he showed...
He's going to be better with the media.
He had some fist pumps, although sometimes you need that guy you love to hate, right? And he might be that guy at the media. But certainly with fans, I think he's been good. I think he showed a lot more emotion, and hopefully keep on winning. I know we want him to win the British, so that way it gives him 5, or Rory to get 5, but Brooks is more consistent in these majors.
Let's talk about Rory. What is going on? He cannot win a big... He has set himself up in every major so far to be there, and has had horrible Sundays, and yesterday no different.
So Rory's really hit a stall here in his major career. To pinpoint it exactly, I would say it's down to lack of belief. And I heard someone say the other day, it might even been Brooks or it might have been, I forget, it might have been someone else, but they said to have confidence, you have to have self-belief. And confidence comes with self-belief, and then once you have confidence, it's hard.
He just won last week. How much more belief do you need?
But in majors, though,
he destroyed majors.
He knows in majors he cannot get it done right now. He all of a sudden can't drive it straight. Even when he plays safe and hits irons off tees, he bogeyed the easiest holes yesterday. He double bogeyed 16, which is an iron off the tee, a wedge into the green, and 2-putt. He bogeyed 1 a bunch of times. He double bogeyed par 5s. He knows he's not getting it done on easy holes when he should. He is not clutch. He's not thinking he's clutch. No. And in regular events, he can get it done because he's simply more talented than guys. And 2 weeks out of the year, which you saw this year, that talent shows its head, and he's able to win. But in these majors, his mental game is not helping him. He doesn't have the poise like Brooks. I feel like he's not good at adjusting. I think that's maybe the biggest thing I noticed with Brooks Koepka. The adjustments he makes, the smart plays he makes. As much as you want to talk about how big he is, how strong he is, he's able to lay off the driver. He's able to hit it out of the rough and hit the fat part of the green 2-putt from 37 feet. Rory does not do that. He continues to make mistakes. I think he gets what we call kind of reeling almost. We talk about quicksand from a movie every now and then. He gets in that mode. And he comes back, but it just tumbles for him. It's in bunches. And I hope he figures it out, because I think he was one of the greats, obviously very, very young. He made all his equipment changes at a young age, got all jacked at a young age.
But now he's 30.
He's got to figure it out, man.
Time has gone by.
Figure it out, man.
Rory won these, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, won these majors. We thought he was the next Tiger. And he has just been on complete pause on the majors.
Here's what I'll say to you.
For that period of time. Now he's 30.
If he's going to win a major, I think it's going to have to be in a blowout. And I think it would have to be you know what I mean? I don't know if he's capable right now.
Like he did when he was young. He got
I think he needs to win a blowout. If he wins a blowout major, then he might go on to win a bunch. Yeah. But right now he's not looking comfortable in these tight situations in majors. So he needs a blow. He needs to just go nuts on a Thursday and Friday. Yeah. Have a 6-shot lead on the weekend or something and win that way.
Well, the good thing is for all of us duffers around here who wonder about our golf game, even the pros can have tough days all the time. Well, even a Rory who just won last week can go into an event lacking confidence. It's amazing. It doesn't matter how great you are.
Quick point on that actually is a lot of guys who play the Canadian Open had great weeks this week. Next year, the U.S. Open's in New York. Yeah. And the Canadian Open in Toronto, St. George's. I think you'll see even more guys. But I think you saw a lot of guys play really, really well coming off the Canadian Open, so it might be a good test. They're setting up courses to emulate U.S. Opens to get them prepped for it. I'd say, great major season so far for golf. It's going to be interesting going forward.
And we're only 4 weeks away from the British
crazy?
Open. So,
isn't it crazy? Even exciting. 3 weeks. It's the second week of July now.
It's exciting that's going to happen again. Yeah. So, anyway, that's the wrap-up on the U.S. Open.
One Canadian made the cut, Nick Taylor. Shout out to him. He was at even par through 3 days. Don't know where he finished on Sunday. But,
not close enough that we know.
No. Shout out to him. Tiger. Had a great finish to his round. Maybe he's trending in the right direction. So a lot of other little things going on in golf. But ultimately, come British Open time, if we can get Brooks, Rory, Jordan up there, I think it could be a great British Open. It's actually in Rory's hometown of Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Does that mean something?
We hope
Maybe.
so. And because Jordan Spieth is a bum. He has turned into an absolute bum.
Man, it's
he
sad
cannot
to
play
watch.
golf anymore.
It's
I
tough
just
to
don't
watch.
get it. You know, again, confidence is everything. These guys have more skill than anybody in the world, and they can't produce on the biggest stage. So it shows all of us, like I said, all of us duffers who lack confidence, have confidence. Just go out there because it can't be any worse than what we normally do.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
just show confidence, be brave, and get out there and play the game. Even the guys at the top of the game struggle, so you're not alone.
And if you're a kid, pro golfer, whatever, or maybe just want to get better, I was listening to an interview about Brooks' dad. They go, when did you know your son had this greatness? He goes, 26, 27. They go, what do you mean? He goes, well, he didn't win in junior. He didn't win until his final year of college. Went over to Europe, didn't win his first year over there. Then won by 6, 7, 9. He won by 12, 10, and 1. And now he's come over to
On
America.
the Challenge Tour.
Yeah, and then the
elevated
European
from
Tour.
there, yeah.
And now he's over here winning. You never know when it clicks for you. You never know when you're able to mature enough to find that poise on a golf course.
Well,
Many
to you
stories of
junior
it.
golfers, this is a long process, golf. It's
Very
not
long.
like hockey that I'm involved in. By 20, you're making it or not
Very
making
long.
it. A lot of other sports, it's either you're making it or not making it right out of college. You know whether you're going to be good or bad. Golf is not that way. It takes a long time, as you see with Brooks. A lot of guys, 25, 26, 27, is considered young on the PGA Tour. So, it's a long process to get there. The good thing is you can get there. You don't have coaches to put you down. You don't have people who, because of politics, can stop you from playing. You tee it up, you shoot the score, and you never, as Joey said, you never know when it's going to click. You never know when the confidence is going to click in, and all of a sudden you elevate yourself quickly, like real quick. Corey Connor's one of our Canadian guys. He went from college to Mackenzie Tour to Webb, right to the PGA in 3 years.
Never know.
You never know what's going to happen. So anyway, keep focused on it. If you're one of the kids out there playing the game, junior golfers, keep persistent.
Read some journeys.
Understand.
Don't read
tough
Tiger's
things.
journey.
Yeah.
He's the greatest of all time. It'll just depress you. But read a journey. Brooks is probably the best one right now, simply from... He's not just a guy who just made it, right? You read stories of guys who
27 years
who
old
are
before
30,
got
play on
there.
the mini tours and made it, but then they struggle once they get there. Brooks is probably the greatest story simply because he was a slow learner, but now also he's dominated since being there.
Yeah.
He's not hanging on.
Yeah.
I think he's my favorite story right now, and honestly, I read his story a lot because you never know. And it might be earlier for you. It might be this year for me because I've listened to so much of Brooks said. Maybe I could take it and hone it in and do it myself when I play, and I might be sooner than him. I don't know. But the fact is, he hasn't just gotten to the PGA Tour and hung onto his card. No, he's gotten there and dominated the game of golf. And read some stories. Don't always read Tigers. It's going to depress you.
Yeah.
Don't read Spieth, who won 3
Well, you know what?
amateurs.
Get Golf Digest. They have stories every month on
It's great.
what it
It's
took
great.
guys to get to the PGA.
And read some guys, Bo
Some huge
Hostler,
stories.
still struggling. Joaquin Niemann was the #1 amateur, played so well last year. They said he'd be world #1 in no time. He's going to win. This year he won't even keep his card. The kids watch Victor Hovland. I hope he has a great career. But, it might depress you that a guy's that good at 22 years old. Well, guess what? You never know their careers and what journeys they'll take. And at the end of the day, you got to do your own. And that's what Brooks said. He does his own thing. He's living in his own life, and he's just doing it himself.
And you got to be persistent. You look at Jordan Spieth going through all the trouble.
Absolutely.
He was number 1 in the world, 3 majors before he's 25, and now he can barely make a cut. Like, who knows what happens? Stick with it, practice lots, but confidence
Wonderful sport.
all the time. You got to have it. And that's what makes the sport so tough. So we're going to
Absolutely.
sign off on the U.S. Open. We'll be back Wednesday with our preview of the event coming up this week. We're looking forward to 3 to 4 weeks from now with the British Open.
Good field.
To wrap up the majors for the year. And we'll be back. We'll look forward to chatting Wednesday.